It's been said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You've likely been dating for so long that you've developed a routine that you continue to do on autopilot. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 10 habits keeping you from going on great dates and how to change them. Number 1, only logging onto the apps when you're bored, tired, or feeling down. Everything inwards you take with you outwards, meaning that if you're logging onto the apps from a place of boredom or feeling down and looking for a distraction, potential matches are going to feel it from you. The happy, high-functioning matches you really want to attract will be turned off this energy and swipe left. It's amazing how the law of attraction works. People who are similarly bored or just swiping to distract themselves will resonate with your energy and match with you, which is not what you ultimately want. Number 2, looking for shared interests rather than shared values. When my clients are perusing profiles, so many of them will comment on things like a potential match having a different interest in music or liking a different sort of hobby as the reason for why they shouldn't match with them. But having mutual interests really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Think about how meaningless it is whether they like to draw and you like to play guitar in terms of whether or not you'll have a thriving relationship. Instead, focus on whether you share the same values. Do you appreciate personal growth while they prioritize comfort? These are the things to really pay attention to when looking at profiles. Number 3, casting your filter too narrowly in the early stages. I always tell my clients when they're considering who to match with that the litmus test at this stage is whether you find the person interesting enough to have a 30-minute coffee with. When you're looking at profiles, instead of looking for reasons why you should not match with someone, look instead for reasons why you should match with them. Get really clear on what your deal breakers are. Be honest with yourself if they should actually be considered deal breakers and if they're maybe arbitrarily holding you back from matching with great people. Number 4, taking too long to respond to messages. Momentum is key in the early days when connections are fragile and you're working to get something going. This doesn't mean you should be glued to your phone answering messages within minutes, but no matter how busy you are, you really shouldn't let more than 24 hours pass to reply to a message. The app shouldn't feel like a job, but they also shouldn't be something you only do when you're bored standing in line at Starbucks if you're looking for a serious partner. Treat messaging like a priority because finding your life partner is. Number 5, asking to go on a date without messaging first. Asking to meet for a date without barely exchanging more than a hello is a red flag. You look like you're not discerning. It's also off-putting. Think of it from your match's perspective. They don't want to meet up with someone they barely know. You're more likely to be met with ghosting or even a no and an unmatch. It also doesn't help you to jump straight to a date. By chatting with your match first, you can figure out if they're aligned and worth meeting in person. Messaging also helps build momentum to help make sure your first date is a great one. You'll have all sorts of topics that you've already discussed while messaging to dig into deeper on your date. Maybe they've told you about their career journey and how they're anxious and feeling burnt out in their current role. That'd be a great point for deeper discussion on a date. Number 6, being someone's pen pal and not initiating a date quickly enough. While messaging is critical before asking a match to meet, you didn't download a dating app looking for a pen pal. Be intentional about taking the next steps with people who are looking for the same thing. After about 48 hours to roughly 2 days of solid, consistent messaging, ask to meet for either a virtual or in-person date. If your match declines, then you know they were never serious about building a relationship with you and you just saved yourself from wasting days or potentially weeks of time messaging someone with no hopes of a future. Number 7, planning dinner or museum dates for your first date. One of the most fundamental keys to getting on more great dates is not burning yourself out from exhaustion. To preserve your energy, only go on dates in settings that lend themselves well to longer interactions with matches that you've already gotten to know and you know that the connection is more promising. Don't feel the need to impress a match with a flashy dinner or a well-executed museum outing. Keep it casual for either a video call or a coffee or drink for the first date. Number 8, getting ready while telling yourself this is probably going to go nowhere. Remember how we talked earlier about how your date can feel your energy? If before the date you're telling yourself there's no real point and it's probably not going to work out because no dates have gone anywhere for you, your date's going to feel that energy. Anyone who is hopeful and excited about getting into a relationship is going to be very turned off. Instead, reframe to optimism and approach each date as a fresh start. Number 9, thinking about whether your date likes you and how to get them to like you on the date. Worrying about whether your date likes you and being super attentive to how they respond to what you're talking about is going to hold you back from going on great dates. First of all, you'll spend so much time worrying about whether your date likes you that you won't be thinking about whether you actually like your date. This may lead to going on multiple dates with someone who you only discover later you aren't actually aligned with. It also means that by morphing to a version of yourself that your date will find attractive, you don't get to find out whether they actually like you for you. And the best dates are with people who are attracted to you exactly as you are. Number 10, not asking personal questions. Many clients ask me if it's too soon to ask about past relationships on the first date. They're worried about being too personal and making their date uncomfortable, which is a valid worry and comes from a good place. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a filter and an understanding of what level of intimacy is appropriate at which stage of the dating timeline. But at the end of the day, vulnerability is really what builds connection. Your objective in a first date is to learn about your date. Asking what they learned from a past relationship or what they're looking to do differently in relationships moving forward is totally valid. Other great questions to ask that might seem too personal are things like, what's something that excites you right now? What's something that you're nervous about? Those are the 10 habits that are keeping you from going on great dates. I hope next time you're swiping on the apps or on a date, you'll try and change a few of these habits to something healthier. I'm Jasmine, I'm a dating and relationship coach. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on more videos like this in the future. And if you'd like to learn how dating can feel less exhausting and more uplifting, just click the link in the description below to book a consultation. See you in the next video.